It's 11:30 here on the East Coast. Welcome to Twitch Line. I am your host, Hodahori, joined as always with my best friend, Mr. Acorn. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well, sir. I'm doing better than you have been recently, from
Oh,
what I
I
understand.
I have a long story to tell, but everyone, welcome to Twitch Line. We haven't been on in a couple weeks, so hopefully, if you're joining us, saying hi. We are indeed back. You're home for relationship advice here on Twitch. You can contact us via our socials below, twitchlinelove@gmail.com. You can also tweet us at Twitchline. And also, if you are interested, you can see our video archive on YouTube. All you have to do is search a Twitchline Love. But unfortunately, I think the search function on YouTube is broken right now, along with parts of Reddit. So, having some issues there. And also, if you want to hear some of our older shows, you can just join. You can go on over to SoundCloud and listen to us on SoundCloud. We upload shows there all the time, so you can listen, and to our shows on the go on your phone, tablet, or any mobile devices. Got the socials out of the way, but it is going to be a Freeform Wednesday for everybody who are just joining us today. So, hello everybody. With Reddit being down, we weren't able to get topics for you. We have been checking our emails, but nothing really coming through the emails that required us attention here on the stream. So, we are going to have a special Freeform Wednesday. So we get to tell stories, talk about anything that we want here today, and we will probably be talking for, I don't know, an hour or so, maybe. But we're just going to basically talk where the wind leads us. And Tim, it's been one of those things. 2 weeks, and I literally went to work one day. If you believe, that's how sick I was. It was absolutely gross. Um, I am still sick. My throat feels like there is a lemon in it, as it has started to swell here on the right side here of my throat. There unfortunately is not very much that they can do about it because they feel like it's a remnant of what was going on with my sinuses and my respiratory system, because of all the irritation that I had. So just to let folks know, just been having some medical issues for the last couple weeks. For a good chunk there, talking was hard, so therefore no show. But finally, I am back. I have not seen any of my friends in 2 weeks, and I am actually canceling a trip out to LA where I would have gone to Vegas for a friend's 40th birthday and met up with some gaming professionals, which unfortunately I will have to put off until the end of October. But yeah, that has been my story. I am unfortunately have not even been able to hang out with Mr. Acorn, where we usually normally go out on the weekends and even watch football. Haven't been able to do that. So what's new in your life since I last saw you, which was about 2 weeks ago?
Oh man, yeah, it's been a bit.
Yeah.
Um, I wouldn't say there's anything crazy going on in my life right now. Spend a lot of time with my wife, my family.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my brother just bought a place, so tomorrow he goes
Nice.
in to put the last signatures down on paperwork there, and he will be a first-time homeowner.
How about
And
that?
and even before you know, even before walking in the door, he's already got plans for the entire place. As soon as the papers are signed, they're going to get people in there within the week to rip out everything and just basically gut it out and start it over again.
So
But
did he get like a
good.
studio or a one bedroom apartment? How
He got two bedroom. He got a two bedroom, and it's
nice.
I guess it's a two bedroom apartment, but it's ground floor level.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's kind of curious. The If you come in off the street and you walk in and you open his door, you're basically walking into a stairwell that goes downstairs.
Oh,
But
okay.
on the back side of the building, it's also level. So it's like it's just interesting. It's weird. He's real excited about it, though. and he's ready. He's ready for whatever's next. We were really a little bit anxious about the whole process
Well,
because,
you're gonna be helping him out as a lot,
yeah,
I figure, especially in the beginning, right,
sure,
as he's getting used to everything. But where like is it?
dude,
I don't want to be a little
it
too
is.
descriptive on stream because I don't want him any inch.
Uh,
But um, is it someplace that's close to where you are?
I will tell you, it is a straight shot to his work, 3 blocks walking. We
That's
cannot do
great.
better than that.
Yeah,
I know
that
it's
is absolutely
incredible.
great. So, like, I know how much walking that he does, so that's absolutely fantastic. So that's good for
Right
him.
before
Yeah.
before he was getting up at like 4:30 in the morning
Hmm.
to get to work on time, even a little bit early, and finishing up earlier than most. But at the same time, like now, if he wants to sleep in a little later, that'll be totally doable. And
Oh,
doesn't
yeah,
have to worry about transport. He can just get some walking in. That's
exactly.
nice.
That
Happy
is
about
really
that for
nice.
him.
So good for him. My sister will be very happy because I was telling my sister about how he was supposed to get his own apartment, and my sister was jealous.
Yeah, yeah. You guys. I mean, there's benefits to both sides, right? Like being off on your own and not having to answer to anyone. That's great for a lot of reasons.
Oh,
But
I
at the
know.
same time, when dinner time comes around and it's just you feeding yourself on your own, it's just you miss something.
That's exactly
So,
right. Well, that really that ensures that your dad is now going to move down into the country, right? So he's just going to go
well, he's
down.
already down there.
Oh, he's
He
already down
comes
there.
up
Okay.
now once a week, maybe,
Oh,
um,
okay.
just to sort of touch base with everybody. And uh, but there's that second bedroom there, so if he wants to, he could stay. We'll set that up to be a guest room,
Oh,
but a regular
for
spot
yeah, for
stay
your
while
dad
I'm
to
in
come
town.
up. Exactly. That's nice. That's great. So
Right?
he'll
Because
he
the place up the road there is going to be sold once their divorce goes through.
mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
but,
Well,
you know,
and also you have a place to crash just in case you say something wrong to Emily.
yeah, or the other way around. Who are we kidding? Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Well, good for him. That's absolutely fantastic. So, good stuff there. Like, love to hear of like good things happening to Josh. That's great. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's been a same time.
yeah.
So, hey, did you hear? I mean, this is, I guess, big news for our channel. Uh, not directly for our channel, but in our world here
Hmm.
on Twitchline. Facebook dating went live
Did it
within the last 2 weeks.
did it
So
really?
yeah, so I was looking up some information on it
Hmm.
just to kind of get a sense of how they make it all work. And I mean, my initial response to the whole thing was like, "Oh, this is horrible. This is the worst idea that's ever happened." Uh, I mean, Facebook in itself is already pretty bad, and now they're trying to make like romantic connections with the friends of your friends and stuff. I'm like, oh god, this could be nightmarish for people.
Yeah,
But
if you look at it on screen, there's the advertisement here from I think this is the press release that they have from September 5th. Facebook, it's official, dating is here. The thing about it is, right, like wasn't Facebook dating basically just everybody just cheating on their wives and stuff with old flames that they had? Pretty much
oh,
wasn't that like Facebook
you
dating?
mean yes, the unofficial before it's announced. Yeah, it was a bunch of DM creeping and keeping tabs on exes and weird shit. Then, but they've done pretty well with the whole like security and privacy element.
Hmm.
They're not, you can report and block anyone. You can prohibit people from sending photos and links and payments and videos and messages. So it's like, at least it's legit in that way. But, and then the cool thing is also you have to opt in. So if you're not opting in, it means you're not going to show up on someone like you're not just going to get a bunch of thirsty people being like, "Hey, you're single, you're single, you're single," and you happen to be a friend of a friend. Oh, let me get, it's not going to
Yeah.
work like that. So you
This
won't
is
even show
this
up as a
this is going
profile
to be
unless
too.
you.
I'm never going to opt in on this because
Oh, hell no.
my family in Indonesia has been trying to marry me off for God knows how long, and this just makes it easier for them. No way.
Yeah.
No.
Also, I mean, I guess the initial thing that jumps out at me as a problem is like if your friend didn't look at you and think, "Oh, you'd be good for my friend,"
Mhm.
there might be a reason for that. And like if you just like pop up because you opted in and that person also opted in, like you start hounding on her or she's sending you weird messages, that can cause static within relationships. So instead of it just being like uh, you on Tinder and swiping and ending up not working out and going your separate ways, this is like, well, now you're the jerk
Yeah.
to your friend and their friend, and like it's gonna become very incestuous and kind of gross.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, if you look on I have something up here that one of the features that they have is something called the secret crush. And let me read what it has here. It says secret crush lets you match with people you already know on Facebook and or Instagram. It's exactly what you're describing. And by default, Facebook dating won't match you with your Facebook friends, but people told us they were interested in exploring potential romantic relationships within their extended circles, like Facebook friend list, Instagram followers. Our popular secret crush feature gives you the option to do just that. This is problematic because it is not just guys creeping on girls, because that happens more and more often. But this could go the other way too. And what if, quote, somebody's secret crushing you and that person's already married? I mean, does that make it weird? Like people have no boundaries, all this crazy stuff. There are no restrictions here. Like they should make it that you can't crush on a person if the person is married. Like if it says married, the notation in Facebook, then that person is ineligible. I don't see that anywhere. Um, so that's not good. So I mean, there's some decency issues here that need to be addressed, I think. So like so that people don't get crept on, or you know temptation sucks. Maybe like some guy is like in a really nice relationship, then all of a sudden, friend that he's always had matches him up as a secret crush or something like that. She's very attractive, or he's very attractive, and it's like, no, weird. Should I
You know how I
question my
think this might
relationship?
work though?
What's that?
You know how I think this might work? If you're one of those, I mean, there are all kinds of different Facebook users, right? If you're one of those Facebook users that just friends the hell out of everyone, and you've just got like 14,000 friends, which none of them are actually your friends,
Mm-hmm.
it would work pretty well because you would have so many people in your pool just from doing that you that don't know you, and their friends certainly don't know you. So then you'd actually just be, fishing
Yeah.
in the big pool.
Yeah.
So, but
That is
if
true.
you have a small circle of friends and you know everyone, then you're probably going to have more problems with this.
Yeah, and the thing about it is I'm one of those people that is very particular about who I add onto Facebook. As you know, I have a yearly purge of people on my Facebook that people I don't communicate with, or people who like have been my friend for a long time, but I don't communicate with them anymore. So it's like, why? People who don't remember my birthday are usually the ones that are culled. So I switch my birthday to something completely different and see if anybody actually wishes me a happy birthday on my actual birthday. Those people I will keep, but then everybody else is up for a culling. And then I go through histories and try to figure that stuff out. I mean, I only have about less than 150 people. I know people that have thousands of friends, and I don't understand how they navigate through all of that nonsense. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah. What does their feed look like?
Yeah.
So I, just randomly, I thought, okay, how many friends do I have on Facebook? And I popped on there, and I have 339 supposed friends.
Uh
You know me. You know all of my friends. So
huh.
you know that's not even close to real. But like when you look on your friends list on Facebook, a few sample pictures, like 6 sample pictures, pop up on the screen, and I was thinking, okay, as a random sample, how many of these people do I actually know? And from this random sampling, I have someone that I don't know. I think I added him years ago for Farmville. So this guy from who knows where in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I have a coworker who worked with me in the Middle East. This guy, so no connection there. My very good friend's girlfriend, my very good friend's live-in almost wife girlfriend, a guy I play video games with, and his girlfriend's daughter. So none of these connections would be good at all.
Yeah, it'd be terrible.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I don't know. I think it's funny, but I am curious to see how, after 1 year of Facebook dating, what are the results going to show? How is it going to match up against the other big guys, Tinder and Bumble and, all that other stuff.
yeah, but the it's free at this point, right? That's what it's got going for it. It
Oh,
has
it's
it.
free.
Yeah.
You're paying for it, but you don't know how you're paying for it. You're paying for it, right?
Yeah,
All the stuff that they're making money off this. So
of
don't
course
worry
they
about
are. Oh, of course they are. I mean, you're paying for it in your time wasted going through all of these particular people. It was very interesting. But the thing about it is I can see why they did it, because look at their base. They have a base amount of
that.
people
Like
that are
no other.
like
Yep.
like no other on the planet. So it's of
All they need
course
to do
yeah.
is just, because like you're setting up dates through this thing. It says you can match up in events and meetings and stuff like that. You can put it all in there, all that information in mind.
Hmm.
So they find out, oh, daters between this age and this age like to go to this kind of restaurant at this time. Like they're selling all that information. So enjoy your date because someone else is making money on it.
Yeah, it's crazy, and like that's really why they want to do it. They don't even actually have to charge anybody. In a way, it's like you're paying them to date people, because like let's say you post about a particular restaurant about your Facebook date. They go on their dates and so on and so on and so on. And next thing you know, that restaurant starting to advertise on Facebook is becoming the number one Facebook dating spot to go to. So it's like, oh God. So yeah, I don't know. They need to be stopped eventually. I just don't know if anybody's ever going to stop them. So, I mean, at this point, they're
The
almost
government's talking about rating
unnecessary.
them in a bit.
What's that?
Government's talking about rating them in a little bit, but this whole privacy thing, like, can someone else earn money off of your personal information?
Well, that's
Can
the
they
thing,
buy
right?
and sell it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
So something came out recently. Apparently, people didn't know that you could buy personal information associated to your car from the DMV. So if you know the license plate number or the registration of a particular car, you could always have gone to the DMV and look up like the address of where the car was located and who owns it and blah blah blah. Apparently, people on the internet did not know this, and people got all in a huff on Reddit last week about it, and older people were making fun of the younger ones, going like, "Yeah, this has been going on forever." It's like it's part of the research when you buy a car, for example. Like you look up the car at the DMV to see if there's any liens or anything associated with the car, but you find out like, is that guy the actual owner? Like what's been going on with your car? And like people are freaked out. It's like, wait a minute, DMV shouldn't be making money off of you. It's like, well, the lookup is like $5. They actually make fun of it in the movie Gone in 60 Seconds when the main characters are trying to steal all of these cars, and they hang out in the DMV, and they're complaining about how much more expensive it used to be, that it is now compared to what it used to be, because they're looking up all of these registrations for all of these classic and exotic cars, and all you have to do is just say, hey, this is the registration for this car. I need to figure out like who owns it, just because I need to look for it, do some research on it, and they give it to you, and that's it. So like people have been selling private information about your things forever. I think the difference is that Facebook, for example, is so entrenched in so many people's lives that um, that you've lost that ability to even possibly control it. So It's like, they track your web movements. So if you have Facebook up right now and you go to different websites and all that stuff, they track that and figure out your web viewing habits. So the advertisements that come up on Facebook will be catered to what you've been and where you've been on the web. So if, let's say, you've been on Amazon looking up outdoor furniture, uh, in about 3 days, your Facebook feed will have outdoor furniture showing up on it because they knew that you were there on Amazon looking at outdoor furniture. It's like,
Yeah. We had and this is not related to that at all. Like,
yeah.
last night we were watching episodes of The Office. We just watched it again for like the third time through.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife fell asleep on the couch partway through one of the episodes. And, I let her sleep for a little bit, mess around my computer. She ended up getting up,
Mm-hmm.
going into her vanity and put on her iPad to watch stuff on YouTube. And an ad came up and said, "Hey, don't fall asleep while watching another episode of The Office. Do this, and that's an advertisement for something."
Yeah.
But it was like, whoa, coincidence, but damn,
Yeah.
they're in my house looking at me.
Well, I mean, people are paranoid about the fact that they believe their their Alexa, is spying on them, which I think is actually true. So they believe that, like, anytime anything that you mention in your Alexa will come up as Amazon suggestions, and the next time you go to like Amazon.com and stuff. It's fucking crazy. It's like, the Alexa hears you snoring, and you go into Amazon and you're looking, and then the next thing that comes up is helping to reduce snoring and sleep aids. It's like, the fuck. It's like, and it's like all it is Alexa hearing just a constant snoring or something like that. It's just like, oh my god. So
it would be funny to mess with someone, like to go into their house, and when they they go out to do something else, you start saying all kinds of messed up stuff to Alexa, so that in a couple of days Alexa starts going crazy on them.
Well, what is it? I know that you can buy, for example, you can buy sex toys on Amazon. So all you have to do is go into somebody's house and start telling Alexa, "Hey Alexa, how much does this particular sex toy cost? Hey Alexa, how much does this particular sex toy cost?" You do it enough so that the next time the person logs into Amazon and goes to Amazon.com and it's like one of the suggestions that comes up, immediately it will be just a list of sex toys that will come up based on your Alexa search history. So, not suggesting you do that. Not suggesting that you should do that to your friend's Alexa, but it's a nice prank if you want to mess with somebody.
Yeah, it might cause like marital problems.
So, but looks like here. Oh, hold on. To production general. Oh yeah. So.
I was talking to someone recently about a privacy issue related to the iPhone a number of years ago. This is many years ago, but early on, before people knew what geolocation data was stored in their photos. Like the phone could tell where you were when you took this photo and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But it was very detailed information at the time, and people did not know they had to turn off the setting for it. It was automatically on. And what would happen is a girl would take kind of a sexy picture in her bathroom and send it to a guy. And he, being a gentleman, would put it on the internet, share it with his friends, things like that. Eventually, some dirty dudes out there started collecting these photos, digging out that geolocation stuff, and finding out who these people were, what their names were, where they worked, what school they went to, what their phone numbers were, pulled up all the information they possibly could on these girls that were, sometimes underage, sometimes they were married. There were just all different kinds of people out there that did not deserve these people putting it all out there so that anyone, and people would show up to their houses and they'd know their names, they know information on it. And I don't know if there are any crimes committed, but I mean, that is really scary.
It's creepy, man. And the thing about it is a lot of that stuff should be turned off initially, because the thing about tech companies is like they leave that crap on, thinking that oh, it'll be good because you can then it'll automatically, when you post that photo onto Facebook will know immediately where that photo was taken off. So like you're in Mojave State Park or Yellowstone or wherever the hell you are. It's like, but if you're taking private photos on your phone or something like that, you don't want to be geotagged. You don't want people to know where you took a photo of yourself if you're taking a private photo. It's crazy. It's like some of the stuff that are on automatically in phones are just ridiculous and stupid. So I don't understand. So my Google phone, because I turned on geolocation a while ago for Google Maps, just so that I know exactly where I am and I can use my phone as a GPS device. Now my phone asks me everywhere I stop, did you enjoy your Chick-fil-A today? Did you enjoy your trip to the post office? Did you enjoy shopping at Macy's? I'm like, well, how the fuck do you know that I'm at Macy's? It's like, oh, my phone.
Did you enjoy your bathroom? Eat more fiber.
Eat more fiber. Exactly. It's like your heart rate is shot up. It's like you need to make sure you take your hypertension medicine. It's like, oh, dear fuck. It's like, what is going on? So it's like, and that is the scary part. Is like Google will basically be able to tell you exactly where you've been. And I think if you go into your Google profile now, if you have geolocation on, Google will give you a map of where you've been today. So for example, I could go into my Google profile of myself, and hey Google, where have I been in the last like 12 hours? And it'll draw me a map of where my phone has gone for the last 12 hours. It's pretty crazy. It has also gotten people out of jail because geolocation tagging has helped them provide alibis for crimes, because they're like, look, using my Google profile, it says that I was nowhere near where this crime was being committed.
But I wonder if it's also gotten them put in jail because they used it to say, hey, possibly. You actually were there at that time.
Well, the most famous one wasn't even a Google thing. A guy was actually up for murder, and he remembered they almost were getting close to convicting him, and then he remembered that he was actually in Dodger Stadium that day, and they needed to find proof of what the hell. Like, we need to make sure that, like, if we can get him on, if he's on tape, we can prove that he did not kill this guy. Even though there's overwhelming evidence that says that this guy did it. And they found proof in an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, because they just happened to be filming that day. And he was caught on camera eating a hot dog in the background where Larry David was doing a scene. So it's like, accidentally proving your innocence via like things like geolocation or filming and, privacy standards and stuff like that. It just, shit happens. And this guy almost went to prison for life if it wasn't for the fact that, like, he got caught on a random camera. So it's like,
yeah, that's lucky.
Yeah, that is super lucky. I mean, that story is legendary in the sense that, like, that. So, like, now everybody's been arguing about, like, should cameras be everywhere? Should people be filmed at all times? Because you see London, for example, their CCTV network is basically everywhere. They say that it helps them with crimes in London and all sorts of other stuff. But now California has, I think Bernie and California have tried to ban facial recognition software because they're trying to, the authorities like the FBI and the NSA have been trying to use facial recognition to identify people in like airports and traveling and stuff like that, and there are just too many errors. So like facial recognition software, like people who look too the same get misidentified and could end up in prison doing all sorts of like time that it wasn't actually them because the computer misidentified their face. It's like scary stuff out there.
Yeah. And actually the software is racist.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're absolutely
right. It can identify
right.
white people, but misidentify as African Americans. Like,
and Asians too.
Rate.
Yeah, and Asians too. They can't identify between Asians because for some reason or another it doesn't know how. It's crazy.
It's like they designed it with the mindset of the police now. They just think they all look the same, and they just go out and arrest them because they're scary and different.
So,
No,
so in
not
that
that bad.
particular case, the programmer is the racist, correct? The guy
Yeah,
that
I honestly, I don't know if we can go that far. I was just making a bad joke, but there's something to it. If the science isn't there and it's not ready, it should not be used. When they do things like lie detector tests and stuff like that, it is completely worthless. It is a junk measure, and for some reason, it is still used today. So I don't know. How do you have any faith in a system like that, or a system where they're testing DNA and they get it wrong all the time, or they don't test the DNA until many years later, or they find out, we mixed it up? Now, how do you have any faith in that? Like, there's no way I would ever go to, like, I mean, of course I'm a man, but like women that go to a sperm bank to have you hear all these stories about doctors that are using their own sperm or getting the sperm mixed up, and the kids come out and it wasn't what the one they picked out of the book. It's
oh,
just
okay. So
bizarre world, man.
two stories. One, there's a television show coming out about that. Apparently, the NBC is doing some sort of crazy drama, where is like I don't remember if it's called like Am I Your Family or something like that, but it's a uh, comedy drama, one of those like real life shows, whatever it is. But it takes actors, and the premise of the show is there's a fertility doctor that impregnated all of these women using his own sperm and has died. But he's basically impregnated hundreds of women, and they all find out about it, and they all have the test done, and these people find out that like they have like 100 half brothers and sisters, and like they follow a couple of the people, and it's like in their daily lives, and it's like, could that person be a relative by accident? And it's like there's like Asian families and black families and white families, and it's like, the hell. This guy is like like I don't know, is like a master deliverer of his genes, and now like the show's premise is like finding every half brother and sister that this guy is that this guy has basically used his own sperm to actually create, and they're all adults. So interesting premise for a show.
They made a movie like that.
Oh yeah, it was
But
with what's his face, uh the guy from the was it The Hangover? Was one of the Hangover guys?
maybe.
Yeah.
But so this is like real. This is
Oh no, it's not.
actual, or
No,
is
it's
this
not.
made up?
It's just
Okay.
made up. But second story is an interesting one too. There was a couple that went to a fertility doctor, um, and they wanted to use the husband's sperm to impregnate the woman. Um, what ended up happening was they used the sperm of another donor by accident. They got the sperm mixed up, and they had the kid. Uh, Apparently, they find out like 5 years later that the kid is not the child of the father, but from a different person because they used the wrong sperm. And the parents get divorced, and they end up suing the doctor, but they then divorce, and the kid gets left in limbo because they're like, the dad doesn't want to do anything with the kid, and the mom is like, this kid is not from was not from my husband, and the poor kid is like left in the middle. There's a whole article about it, and they're suing the doctor for malpractice and all this other stuff. But there's this kid in the middle that all of a sudden has now been abandoned by both of the father and the mother, who doesn't want to have anything to do with them. And it's like, what the hell is wrong with you guys? For 5 years, you love this kid like it was your own, but then you discover that, it was somebody else's sperm that was used, and now all of a sudden both parents want nothing to do with the kid. I'm like, isn't that pretty effed up? Like, the mother wants nothing to do with him. The father doesn't want anything to do with him. And there's this 5-year-old that's like, I don't know what's going on, and it's like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's more than a little messed up.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, like, there were people who were, comment gallery, of course, but there were people who were like, these parents didn't want this kid in the first place. They thought this kid was probably going to solve their marriage issues, and what all it ended up doing was exacerbating that. And now you have this kid that has a mother, doesn't know who the father actually is, and two parents that wants nothing to do with them, and it's really sad. It's like, well, the mother is the mother still, so that is still your child, but it's like, what kind of an adulthood is this kid going to have? What kind of childhood is this kid going to have, knowing that his biological mother wants nothing to do with him, and that his biological father was like a sperm donor? I was like, it's like, it's terrible. I don't know. I read that and it was just like, these people are horrific. So,
Well,
I don't know,
be
man.
glad for what you have, people.
Yeah.
Your parents love you. Be glad for it.
Yep, absolutely. So, enough of those depressing topics. Unfortunately, it's like, I don't even know how we got onto them. But I'm looking through more information about Facebook dating here real quick. Did you know that Facebook dating is going to be available in Malaysia, Tim? And Singapore? Southeast Asia for the win. Apparently, Facebook is trying to use the dating application, to make inroads in countries where Facebook is not dominant. So,
Huh.
using
I guess
love,
so.
and the prospect of finding that significant other in order to empower your social network is a very interesting tactic. So,
Yeah, and Europe is off the list right now. I mean,
yeah,
they're saying it's supposedly going to come next year, maybe. But I thought that was interesting. Something, Facebook's all through Europe, but they don't get to do the dating part of it, I guess. Maybe something to do with the particulars of privacy in the EU.
yeah. Well, the EU really does take privacy very, very seriously. I mean, like, they don't put up with shit from the tech companies in America either, because they've been trying to sue Apple forever. They've sued Google multiple times for all the shenanigans that they try to do with regards to trying to make sure that they are the number one, like, search engine in the world. Um, a lot of that stuff. I mean, like, Google's been fined billions of dollars in the EU, so I'm not surprised the EU doesn't put up with Facebook's nonsense. Because there are a whole bunch of different, like, terms and conditions that are available in Europe that aren't available in the U.S. Like, in Europe, for example, you have the right to be forgotten. I don't know if you know that rule. What it means is that you can actually apply to get information scrubbed off of search engines and websites, so that they don't mention your name after a certain period of time. So that, like,
Can that for anyone?
yeah,
For example, America's dipshit of the year, Brock Turner, could he have his negative information swiped?
from European servers, yeah. So,
How is
like,
that?
I
I mean,
don't know.
like,
I don't know if
for
it
example,
applies to.
they must have sex offender registries and stuff like that, just like we have here, right?
No, yeah, absolutely. I think they absolutely have that. But I think if it's like non-criminal behavior. So, like, anything that's deemed like non-criminal can be requested to be deleted, and they have to delete it if there's an official request that comes in. So, you might want to look it up. It's a very interesting law. It's so that people can absolutely have a fresh start. It's the whole, like, it's almost like a counter to what people and comedians have been saying about what the Me Too movement is. in a way. Like, you say something offensive that wasn't necessarily offensive 20 years ago, and then now you're getting punished for it. Is it fair? I don't know. But with this law, you could have scrubbed your Twitter, for example, and all posts before, 2008 can be immediately deleted because there was nothing criminal about that. Just delete all my posts. You can't archive it. You can't save it. You can't do anything about it. You can't reference it anymore. Done. Gone. So, it's called the right to be forgotten. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting thing. Europe has that, so I thought it was very neat. So,
I don't know how I feel about it.
I don't know either. Yeah, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I think that there is value in it for certain people. I think other people need to be remembered. I think that if you made a white supremacy post 20 years ago and you are in a political position today, that needs to be remembered. And then being able to scrub that, I think, doesn't help. So, what do we do with that?
But remember, there are European countries where white supremacy is actually illegal. Like things like that, like in Europe, like in England, for example, being racist is actually illegal. So theoretically, if they have an out for legality or crimes and stuff, then that stuff can't be purged, which is interesting. But of course, this is England, and England is about to leave the EU in about 100 days or so. So different rules. Well, we don't want to get it. We don't want to get it.
Let's get it recorded here. What do you think is going to happen
with Brexit?
What is the result of all that going to be?
I think there are members in the British Parliament that have no intention of leaving Europe whatsoever. I think they will try anything to stall and delay Brexit so that they can perpetually get extensions, and it'll end up being like one of these running jokes. Now, there is a whole section of the Parliament that basically says that, we want to have our cake and eat it too, but these are arrogant. This is like the arrogance of the British, thinking that they are holier and more important than thou in a lot of aspects, and the EU is like having none of it. It's like, what right do you have to demand things from us? You are insane. The power of the Dutch, the Danish, the French, the Germans, and the Spanish combined outweigh the British by, tens of millions of dollars. So it's like, the British are living in this fantasy world where they believe they're still a world superpower when in fact they're not. And Europe is not having any of it. So in the end, I think what will end up happening is that it won't be a no-deal Brexit, but they will end up leaving, and England is going to basically fall into either a recession or a mini depression because they don't realize how much of their own goods come from mainland Europe. That's going to be the breakdown. And people the English that do business with mainland Europe, they're all effed. It's like stuff that they were trying to export. Good luck.
Yeah.
This is them voting against their own interests. This is ridiculously stupid. This is like it's like all of the people who support Brexit are the equivalent of Republicans here in the United States. It's like they have no idea what the hell they're talking about, and they're voting against their own interests. It makes no sense to me.
What was that Tom Cruise movie where he goes off on his own? He leaves the company in a very loud way. And
Jerry
who's
Maguire.
coming with me? Jerry Maguire. Okay, so this is like Jerry Maguire. Someone should do like a whole meme of this scene where it's Brexit, right? And he's like, "Who's coming with me?" Except the result of it is not that he's very successful. It's that the people in the office are still fine together.
Yeah.
and he actually was kind of a dumbass for leaving.
Well, that whole movie could be a thing for Brexit because the only person that comes with him is Renee Zellweger, and in this particular case, Renee Zellweger is pretty much just Wales. So like, there's only like one country that actually wants to go with England, and Tom Cruise is England, and Renee Zellweger of Wales. Scotland wants nothing to do with Brexit because they say that if the UK forces Brexit, Scotland wants to basically leave the Union and join the European Union and be its own country again, not a part of the Union. Northern Ireland, people forget, is also one of the 4 home countries that make up the United Kingdom, is on another fucking island. And that means that Ireland, who is in the EU, right now, people can walk from Northern Ireland to Ireland without having any issues. You put a fucking wall up there, I don't know if people remember their history, but in the 80s and the 70s, those people killed each other. The British loyalists versus the Irish Republican Army was a big freaking deal. And, by you Brexiting and leaving the European Union, you're putting a wall back up against Northern Ireland and Ireland, and that might force Northern Ireland to basically rejoin Ireland, and you lose one of your home countries. It'd be insane. There are just so many ridiculous ramifications that could come out from it, and it's like, what are you doing? So
Yeah.
I mean, like, these are things that people have not thought of, and I don't know if you ever watched not Jon Stewart, what's his face on HBO, John Oliver's breakdowns on Brexit, because he has multiple of them. They are insane. Like, the things that they have to consider going into Brexit is absolutely nuts, and there is nobody, I mean nobody, like, understanding the full scope of everything that's going on. And the thing about it is if they no deal it, things are going to shit, and it's going to be awful. So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wish them all luck. I hope that people are kind to them when they want it back the way it was.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Europe has given them the ability to just say, you know what? You can just scrap this whole thing and be done with it. All you have to do is rescind Article 50, and you'll be fine. That's all they need to do. The problem is that the British have become so stubborn that they wanted at one point to have another referendum to say, did we make a mistake? And people were like, no, people already voted for it. Well, they already voted for Brexit, so there's no reason to have another vote. It's like, bullshit. It's like people didn't know what the fuck they were voting for. And then all of a sudden, now when they realize that this is going to happen, it was like, no, I didn't want that. All I want is for the EU to not mess with our laws. But leaving the EU altogether, I didn't want that. So people at one point didn't understand what they were voting for. So, like, this is what happens when stupid people vote. I mean, like, you get
really?
stupid...
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, well, play stupid games, win stupid prizes is essentially what is going on. So, like, giving the ability for stupid people to vote, you get stupid results. America saw that in 2016. So it's like, then you give power to the stupid, and all hell breaks loose. So, yeah. What are you going to do?
Yeah. It doesn't matter how many times history is written, we will repeat it. And as long as people keep having babies, they'll still be a full spectrum of amazing to, oh Lord.
Well, and that's the thing, right? It's up to the parents. So if the parents are responsible and teach their kids right, then you get responsible and good kids. But if you have idiots having kids, they'll raise idiots. So it's like, Okay.
Yeah. Oh well.
Mm-hmm. What a depressing way to end. So we've been going on about 50 minutes or so. So you know what? We're just going to stop it here before we find even more depressing topics to talk about. About because you know what? Brexit is one of those things in which I could rail about it forever, and it's one of those things in which it's like no way no way they should be doing it, but they're going to do it anyway. But I'm going to end it on that note. So, thank you for watching Twitch Line here. It's been a Freeform Wednesday. Normally, we do questions and emails, but because I've been sick, we really haven't been able to prepare. So, we're going to be trying to do that tomorrow, which is normally Freeform Thursday. Try to switch it up for you. So, we'll be on here around 10 o'clock. But make sure you join us here on Twitch every Wednesday here at around 10 o'clock, where we do go over relationship advice here for everybody that we will go through via emails or Reddit or whatever it is. We also have Sundays where we talk about one particular topic and we go in depth into that particular topic and do a little bit of a deep dive to try to figure out any more information or maybe some facts that maybe you did not know about a particular topic or two. As always, please email us at twitchlinelive@gmail.com if you have any questions, concerns, articles you want us to read, or things that you want us to mention. You can also tweet us at Twitchline on Twitter. Remember to search Twitchline Relationship Help and Advice on YouTube if you want to see any of our previous shows. And if you want us on the go, we are available on SoundCloud. Just search Twitchline on SoundCloud and you will find us. You can watch all of our previous topics that we've uploaded there and take us on the go on your phone, on your tablet, laptops, anything that is considered a mobile device. Tim, any final thoughts here on the discussion today?
Yeah, I'm not going to accept Reddit being down in the future. I think the internet needs to do a better job because there were some. I mean, earlier in the day when it was still up, there were some interesting topics, and they'll be there for tomorrow. But since we've been unable to do this for the last 2 weeks, I think we've missed out on some pretty juicy subjects and stuff. So we're just gonna have to pull it back together, and hopefully tomorrow we'll have something really interesting.
Yeah, we'll have something interesting for everybody on the streams tomorrow. So hopefully you've joined us coming back here. So we did a little bit of a rough show, but hopefully you've enjoyed it. But for Acorn, I am Hodo. Thank you so much for joining us today, and join us tomorrow where we will have topics where we will be discussing here on Twitch and on YouTube. So for Acorn, I'm Hodo. Thanks so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.